Before we get started, I want to welcome you aboard. We are proud to be bringing our U.S. Coast Guard series to the Roker Entertainment YouTube channel. These are real people who show up for strangers in some of the toughest conditions imaginable, for people they've never met. Real rescues and real stakes. Thanks so much for watching with us.
As the weather rolls in.
Yeah, how you guys doing up there? 'Cause it's pretty crappy.
Still see the water on the front of the windshields.
The Coast Guard gears up and drops down to save a fisherman aboard a massive container ship.
We couldn't see the vessel. All of a sudden, it just appeared out of the fog. It was actually kind of spooky.
A rookie rescue swimmer takes on his first medevac in a distant Alaskan village.
We need to get him to a higher level of care quickly.
And the search for two missing fishermen sends the men and women of Air Station Sitka on an epic, unforgettable rescue mission.
Possible one survivor on site on the beach. Possible survivor on beach.
The vast Alaskan wilderness. A place where beauty is cloaked by danger. Here, every day, 350 highly trained men and women risk their lives to save others. America's deadliest waters are protected by Coast Guard Alaska.
Good morning. You're listening to Raven Radio, KCAW Sitka. The Caitlin Ray has been reported overdue. It's a 28-foot aluminum boat and was in the area of Cape Edgecombe. There are 2 people aboard. If you're out on the water, please keep an eye out, and of course we'll continue following the story and keep you posted as we learn more.
How you doing?
Hey, Commander, what's going down?
No, not too much. We're going to go out and do the first search area for you.
All the drift patterns, all the titles and waves and whatnot has everything drifted up north.
Gotcha. All right. We're on our way then. Thanks.
Okay, Roger, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is William Walker. I'm a Lieutenant Commander at Air Station Sitka. Been notified of an overdue vessel. It was reported overdue last night. It's a 28-foot drop bow, which is kind of like a little landing craft with 2 people on board. And we had crews fly on it last night, and they weren't able to find the vessel. So we're launching on it today in the daylight, and we're going to give it another go.
Roger.
Sector Juno was preparing a search pattern for us. We did not want to delay. We wanted to launch out and get on scene, get in the area while there was still daylight.
Sector Juno from Rescue 30. Good afternoon. Request you take our radio over at this time. We are en route for the overdue vessel. That's a good copy. You're airborne at this time from home plate.
My name's Chris Bly. I'm Coast Guard rescue swimmer at Air Station Sitka in Southeast Alaska. Part of my job as the rescue swimmer is I handle most of the radio communications. So I'm making contact with Sector Juno, and there's a myriad of good Samaritans on the water that I was talking to with multiple assets on the ground, and everybody all working to try to find these individuals.
Coast Guard helicopter, this is Sitka Mountain Rescue on channel 16. I was supposed to call you regarding some debris that we located on the west side of Shore Point, over.
Request permission to open the door. Roger. Door's coming over. I think we're at Shoal Point. Debris field there's a lot of debris tucked back in here on the shoreline. Yeah, this is a mess. You guys want to kind of do a hover search of that shoreline? Just get a little closer, lower, slower look at it? Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Petty Officer Raymond Backus. I'm an AMT, Aviation Maintenance Technician, 2nd class. The weather conditions outside were not exemplary. Quite a bit of haze and fog outside, rainy conditions. Once we got on scene and started our search, at that point in time, I had opened up the cabin door. That's one thing I always like to do, is give myself as much of a field of view as I can.
That coast what I was talking about is right on the tree line. That looks like it's been there a while. I think it's safe to say that there's nothing on the shoreline that's definitive. No.
As we flew over the field in a low hover search, we couldn't see anything that was specifically identifiable from the Caitlin Ray, which was the vessel that was reported overdue.
Wildland Trooper vessel, this is Coast Guard Sector Juno on channel 16. Proceed.
In the middle of that search, we received a radio call from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game boat Courage.
Roger. Possible one survivor on site on the beach. On the over. Do you hear that? Yeah, you guys hearing this up front? Possible survivor on beach.
So Courage called us on the radio, told us where they were. I think they were about 15 miles north of our position.
After the troopers spotted him and they called us, we went right to the cove. We got both of our heads out, searching really hard. We know he's in the area.
It sounds like he's ambulatory. He was waving at the fishing game boat.
Courage, this is Coast Guard helicopter, Roger. Is there a place where we can look at landing on the beach to pick up the survivor over?
Negative. It's a fairly steep beach and a rather kind of cliffy area. My guess is you're going to have to do a hood tour.
Okay, Roger. That's a good copy. Thanks for the help. We'll be there shortly.
Probably want to go ahead and get dressed out there. Roger, doing it now.
Once we got on scene, we saw Courage, and they vectored us into the individual on shore.
When we first came on scene, I did not notice the gentleman. I noticed his Gumby suit. And then from there, after I saw the Gumby suit, I was able to locate where he was at, standing next to the Gumby suit.
Now, let me go down and talk to him and see if he's the only one alive or if he thinks he's up closer. It'll be easier to talk to him on ground.
The area that the individual was in, it was a real steep, rocky beach with a real big cliff face right behind him. So there was no potential of the plane actually landing in there without it causing damage to it.
Started putting him down, waited for him to swing back a little bit, and then put him down on the rocks.
It's real slippery, so I literally had to kind of crawl over these rocks until I got some good footing on some dry rocks so I could, get to him a little bit quicker. So the first thing I do is I talk to him and let him know that we're here to get him out, and we're going to get him out as soon as possible. I ask him, how is he doing? Is he hurt? Is he, broken anything? He tells me he's fine. He's just cold. He's more worried about his friend. So told him it was fine. We're going to get him out. We will find him. That's our job. This is what we do.
I put the basket out the cabin door, and then I put it down on the rocks. Pulled him off the deck as easy as I could. He was definitely a little cold. I noticed that he was shivering on the way up a little bit.
After the individual, Mac is up and into the plane. I have a few minutes while they're getting him situated, and then I just give the signal for pick me up, and I just wait for a ride. So the first thing I do as soon as I get in the plane is I need to get him warm. So I take off most of his wet clothes and I put him in a Wiggy's bag, which is our hypothermic bag. He'd been in the water for 24 hours. He's hypothermic, he's cold, dehydrated. We need to get him in. Mac did not want to leave. He wanted to search for his friend. So we talked it over with the crew. He said he wanted to stay. Pilot said it was okay. We're good to go.
Yeah, sector from 30. The vessel sank approximately 1400 yesterday. The individual that we have on board saw his friend at around 1430. He has not seen him since. We are now searching from the north of Gilmore Bay, continuing on north as a shoreline search.
In this case, the swimmer reported that he was in pretty good shape for a fellow that just spent all night in the water. He had only been on the beach for about an hour when we had picked him up. And the swimmer was also getting more information about exactly where they were fishing and what happened. And that helped us adjust our search, sort of adjust our target of fire. We learned that he was fishing just off Beaver Point when the boat went down. He said the boat went down very quickly, and he told us that his buddy had made it into a fish tote. That's a box with a lot of sail area with very little in the water. So if his buddy was in that, we can estimate that he was drifting, blowing in the wind faster than the fellow was that was in the helicopter.
So he was just off Beaver Point.
Showing him a map right now, sir.
I'm going to have him look in the gazetteer and see if he can show him. Outstanding, that's good.
idea.
After 20, 30 minutes of flight time, next thing I know, I turned around and the gentleman was sliding off the edge of the seat and in a lot of pain.
Yeah, we need to go in, sir. We need to take him into the hospital.
We notified of an overdue vessel, located an individual on the shore. When we got on scene, it became pretty apparent that that was one of the people we were looking for. He wanted to stay out and look for his buddy, so we decided to continue searching with him on board. He's another set of eyeballs that can help us look.
So in the process of our search, Max starts having some incredible cramps.
Yeah, we need to go in, sir. We need to take him into the hospital. He's in extreme pain right now. Okay. All right.
He's got major dehydration, some probably mild hypothermia. The cramp that he had turned really, really bad for him, enough so that we couldn't even touch him or lift him up.
Chris, you want an ambulance on deck with us? Yes, please.
So at that point, we just immediately knocked off our search because our primary concern is the safety of the fellow we already have on board. We flew at the best speed we could, given the conditions, back to the air station.
The plan was I was going to sit with Mac. At this time, there was also a second plane turning up and getting ready to take off. So we were going to have another plane up and looking for this individual, this kid.
My name is Stoney Huffman. I live in Sitka, Alaska, and I'm a fisherman. I needed to get saved in order to get the information, in order to get Ryan saved as well, because I didn't know enough about where he was, and he's in the water, you know, somewhere. And that's mostly what kind of kept me where I had to keep going. My focus at that point was just what can be done to find Ryan.
All right, hydraulic leak test when you're ready.
Ready for it?
Ready up. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Lieutenant Jamie Jenks, pilot at Air Station Sitka. So 2 good things. Number 1, we found one of the guys, or the other crew did. The other good news is through talking to them, they got a much better idea of where their boat went down, when it went down, and we've got a pretty good localized search area for the second member.
Sitka Air from Rescue 38. Good afternoon. We are airborne from home plate Sitka with 5 POB en route to Sarkane. Tell them we're going to go downwind from last known position.
Lieutenant Commander Doug Atkins. We got out to the area where the survivors had last been reported. We started searching some of the islands, the rocky islands out there, to see if the survivors had washed up there.
All right, I got islands over at 1 o'clock. I'm going to come back and put them down the left side, sticking out from the shore, so I want to get a decent look at these as we go by. The guy who they just found, last saw him yesterday at 2:45 local. So it's been 25 hours. That tote's been adrift.
The weather today is not real conducive to doing a person in the water search. However, the weather's not such that it's out of the ordinary. We get pretty used to a lot of crummy weather days in this area. The factor that's going to affect us the most out there is limited visibility. We're not going to see very far in any direction during the search. So we're going to have to really cover a lot of ground to search the area that we need to hit.
I'm going to come down to 200 to use that as a search altitude. The other thing, too, is a bunch of boats out here. Take a look at this. I don't know if they got over here.
Channel 16 for Coast Guard Sector Juno. This is Coast Guard Sector Juno. Proceed.
Yeah, this is the NERCA.
Just a few minutes after we arrived in the area and began our search, one of the local vessels from town who had been out there, lending a hand in the search, came up on the radio and said that they had seen a tote on the water and they were going to check it out.
Hold on a second. I'm just about a mile and a half off Eagle Rock, and we've got a light blue tote just outside of us here. Actually, I think there's 2 of them. Hold on, we've got him. We see the person. They're on the tote.
We're en route.
It's about a quarter mile
there
from
it is.
us. We're heading towards them now.
We got it.
Want me to talk to the boat?
Tell them that we're 2 minutes out. We'll be right there.
The survivor's in the tote and he's waving, and we're heading towards them. We got their position and turned out they were only about 3 or 4 miles from where we were.
Rob, dress out, please. Roger that, sir.
My name is Rob Simpson. I'm an aviation survival technician, 2nd class at Coast Guard Air Station Sitka. Immediately upon hearing the survivors waving, that gives us a good indication that he's awake, he's cognizant of what's going on, and that makes our job a lot easier because You know, an unconscious person who's been hypothermic for 24 hours, it makes the rescue effort exponentially more difficult.
We're about to pull up on scene here at the position that's passed. How about that for a quick response? Numbers in the cabin door. Rescue checklist complete, ready for one harness deployment of the rescue swimmer to the water, followed by basket recovery of the survivor. Second swimmer. Swimmer's ready. Roger, swimmer's going outside the cabin door. Swimmer's on his way down.
When we arrived on scene, it was a huge relief to see that not only was he still in the tote, but he was physically active, you know, waving his arms and was clearly alert. And it was actually shocking how well the fish tote was floating above water.
Swimmer's away, swimmer's okay. Clear back and left easy. He's halfway between us and the survivor.
So my primary concern was the survivor's well-being, and he appeared to be in pretty good health.
Basket. Roger, rigging it.
He looked right at me, and I asked him if he was okay, and he said, yeah, I'm a little cold. And I told him, well, it's nice and warm in the helicopter. We'll get you up there as soon as we can.
Probably having to convince him that it's a good idea to get out of that tote right now.
Yeah, I'd be pretty attached to that tote at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Your basket's outside the cabin door and on its way down. Swimmer's away, swimmer's okay. He's halfway between us and the survivor.
It happened very quickly. We heard that another Good Samaritan mariner had spotted a fish tote and that they saw the survivor waving.
Okay, ready for pickup? Begin the hoist.
Roger, basket's outside the cabin door and on its way down.
Yeah, just bring it about now.
I pulled him out. The tote actually tried to swallow him up, so I had to stop it from hitting us on the head. And then we swam away, and I put him in the basket, and he went up in the helicopter.
Fair, take the load. Taking a load. Basket's halfway up. Basket's just below the cabin.
When we do a basket deployment and recover a survivor, they come up alone, and then got him on board, got him situated.
Yeah, just getting him in the bag here real quick.
And then recovered Rob afterwards.
Bring somewhere inside the cabin. Swimmer is inside the cabin. Hoist complete.
The flight mechanic actually did a fantastic job of getting him set up before even going after me, because he knows that I'm comfortable in the water, and this gentleman had been in the water for 26 hours, so it was very important to get him warm. We put him in a hypothermic bag and basically made sure the patient was secure before worrying about me. And that's a testament to how well the flight mechanics, and a testament of what an awesome rescue team we're a part of up here.
Hey, just so you guys know, in the front, this guy is a rock star. His vitals are good, and he's tucked into a Weggy's bag, and he's doing really well, sir.
Really nice job, Rob.
Likewise, sir.
So EMS was here, and we get back, and as we get on the ramp and we're shutting down the helicopter, the family members started to show up. In the end, we probably had about 20 family members out around the helicopter. Very happy to have both the guys back. It needs to be part of a big, community effort to bring 2 people from the community home.
Hey guys. Hi. We have Ryan here.
Yeah, Ryan, hi. What's up, Mr. Hunter?
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
So what's going on? Well, I'm a little cold. My legs are really cramped from sitting in that tote for God knows how long.
26 hours.
26 hours.
Oh. You're kind of like an inchworm.
Okay, hold on. This is gonna take a second.
Can I get someone to help me get his hands?
My name is Ryan Harris, 19 years old. I live in Sitka, Alaska.
How's everyone doing? I should be the one crying, not you. I would hug you back, but yeah, we got you tied up. Okay, let's get someone on the side here.
I was pretty emotionally distraught, like Max, my friend, and I did not know where he was. I did not know if he made it to land or survival suit. Last I saw him, he was just in his work clothes on a fish tote lid. Luckily, I have a very protective mom, and she called the second we weren't there on time. She called the Coast Guard, had them flying helicopters out looking for us.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, baby boy.
What's up, Caleb? Love you. Love you too, Fred.
Too tough. I love you, Ryan. See you at the hospital.
Oh my God, you guys are alive! Yeah, baby!
We were fishing off of Cape Edgecombe, Weather turned bad. We picked up the gear, headed in, ended up coming down the face of a wave and capsizing the boat. Ended up in the water. The stern went down first and the bow kind of raised up, and all of those fish totes, which float like a big ice chest essentially, came up, and that was our obvious what we tried to get to. And Ryan was able to get in one. I was not able to get in one without turning it over. And as soon as I let go of that tote, the wind just blew that tote away faster than I could swim to keep up with it. And within a few minutes, I couldn't see him anymore. When I was in a situation where there was little or no hope that I could hold on to, the Coast Guard was the bulk of that hope. Most of my thoughts about this ending happily involved a Coast Guard helicopter and a rescue swimmer. And ultimately, that's the way it played out.
There's a motor vessel, had a crew member on board that was experiencing heart attack conditions.
Visibility's gonna drop here over the water.
We were a half-mile away from the vessel, and then all of a sudden it just appeared out of nowhere. It's kind of like a ghost ship. It was pretty crazy.
Likely gonna be doing a litter hoist to the guy because he's in and out of consciousness. And swimmer's going down.
Heart attack victim, I think is what it is. Yeah. It's on a large vessel, that's all I know.
Around midday, we were signing for the aircraft to take the helicopter on a training flight when the alarm went off to get launched for a medevac.
There's a motor vessel, APO China, had a crew member on board that was experiencing heart attack conditions. We launched the Ready 60 from Air Station Kodiak. So we went out to the motor vessel. And the plan right now is to have our C-130, the 1704, meet them in Sandpoint, transfer the patient onto the C-130, and then take them direct to Anchorage International.
The ODO thinks we can just go right to the boat, pick the guy up, and then meet life flight at Sandpoint, refuel from there. Weather at Sandpoint, can you speak to the weather? There is weather moving in. Roger.
In this case, the weather was really bad. The visibility was in between a half mile and 3 miles during the whole transit for 2.5 hours.
Step off the mast a little bit here, get a little bit of turbulence. Visibility's gonna drop here over the water. I'm thinking we should come down to about 200, 250. I'll come down 250.
There was this huge and thick marine layer of fog right down to the water. Nothing that we could go around. We had to just go right through in order to get to this boat. So that's sort of an uncomfortable feeling when you're transiting with a quarter to a half mile of visibility and you know that this container ship is somewhere between 500 and 1,300 feet. And that's longer than we have visibility out of the window.
Likely going to be doing a litter hoist to the guy because he's in and out of consciousness. Roger.
If he can sit up, that would make it easier for everybody else. If not, we can lay him down.
En route, the weather dropped down to about 100-foot ceilings and visibility less than a quarter mile. So we tracked them on radar once we picked them up and knew where they were and kept following them in. And we didn't have visual with them until we were a little less than a quarter mile.
Yeah, how you guys doing up there? 'Cause it's pretty crappy.
Still see the water on the front of the windshield, so that's good. It's sufficiently crappy, though. We'll admit. Yeah. All right, so you want door speed? Yes, sir. There's door speed. Roger. Doors open.
We were a half mile away from the vessel and we could see it on the radar, but we couldn't see the vessel. All of a sudden it just appeared out of the fog. We actually saw the wake of the ship before we actually saw the ship itself. And so it was actually kind of spooky just coming up on it, and then all of a sudden it just appeared out of nowhere. It was kind of like a ghost ship. It was pretty crazy.
I got that on site. All right, we're getting this down.
Well, first when we got on scene, there was nobody on deck. We were trying to find a hoisting platform, and there was containers everywhere.
All right, let's make sure we don't get too close to. Roger that. Tricky hoist here.
We talked to the boat's captain. Luckily, there was somebody on board that spoke English very well. He gave us all the details on where they wanted to hoist from. They had a nice big wide open section of deck where there were no containers.
Back there would be good, but I don't see how you transit. I don't see how you transit past all that gear.
It was a little challenging getting over the hoisting area from the right seat. I could see the boat and I had great visual references, as did the flight mechanic in the back. From the left seat, where the aircraft commander was sitting, he had no visual reference. He was pretty much looking into the clouds and had no horizon or anything and couldn't see the water below him.
I think the word we got was he was in and out of consciousness. His vitals may be stable.
Roger that.
Like the subjects on deck there.
Those 6 guys went on this about 3-foot catwalk along the side with a 60-foot drop down to the water, and they had to hoist him up to a 7 to 8-foot platform above their heads. At this point, I got a little nervous. I really did not want him to fall in the water.
They actually pulled him over the side. We were just afraid that the guy was going to fall, because it was a good 10-foot ledge they were pushing him up on.
You ready? First check is complete. Just get this one ready.
The way we had to get into the hoisting platform was there was a container ship aft of the aircraft and forward of the aircraft. So if you can kind of visualize parallel parking a helicopter in between 2 container ships is kind of what we had to do.
1 o'clock, you begin on. Going outdoors?
Fortunately, there was enough clearance between our tail rotor and the pilot house that we were safe. It was close, but we were safe to do the hoist.
And swimmer's going down. Forward and right. 30.
There's these big attachment points all over the deck. They were about 3 feet high. So I was really kind of worried about having him swing and hit one of those because they're made of steel. So that was the hardest part, was to try and get him onto the platform without hitting one of these.
Hold, good position here. Hold, swimmer's going down, swimmer's going down. Hold, swimmer's going down, swimmer's about 10 feet on deck and on deck. Graceful landing.
Got down safely. It was a good hoist. I immediately went to the patient, started talking to him, finding out his name, finding out if he was completely aware of the situation. You could tell that he was a little out of it. He said he wasn't in pain anymore. I talked to the guys on deck to figure out what was going on. They said that they talked to the doc, and he pretty much went into cardiac arrest. At this point, I knew that we needed to get him off of there right away because he could go south.
Guys, ready for pickup signal. Hold position. Prepare to take the load.
At one point, he started to go unconscious. I shook him to make sure he's okay. Tried to talk to him. He stayed with me. I put him in this litter. And we hoisted him up. And we got him into the helicopter as fast as possible.
Survivor's right below cabin door. Survivor's right outside cabin door. Survivor's coming inside cabin.
When I brought him up, he was breathing, but he just seemed completely incoherent. So that was my first clue that this guy wasn't doing well at all. And then we brought him in the cabin, put him in, and then started going to work on him right away. Opened his shirt, put the defibrillator on him. They threw an IV on him and started doing vitals, trying to get him coherent, trying to get him to talk, get his eyes open.
Right 30. And hold. Look, and you got swimmer coming up, and hold.
Sonny, is there any pain at all? No pain?
Cabin door's closed, we're ready for flight. Roger.
Once we got the victim in the cabin, the corpsman and the rescue swimmer worked together to make sure he was stable, and went through the rest of the process of getting his vitals and getting him all situated for our transit.
From the vessel, we had approximately 10-minute flight back to Sandpoint, where we were meeting the C-130.
A lot went into this medevac, but in the end, it's always worth it. The guy had symptoms of a heart attack, and that could turn out pretty bad pretty fast.
We're ready to take him to Anchorage is the plan.
I mean, the risks are always worth it to get this guy to a higher level of care, and everyone will be hoisted and rescued.
It's a beautiful thing when you can take them from a boat where they're having a really bad day and they're kind of in bad shape, to get them to safe, reliable care.
Starting to get a little darker and cloudier.
We just received a call. The initial information is that we have a patient in some form of cardiac arrest in a town called Pelican.
Could potentially be in rough shape. Their phones went down, so we don't have a lot of information.
It was my first medevac as a rescue swimmer. You know, get your heart racing a little bit.
Find out if you have a land where they want us to. For one free fall deployment of rescue swimmer to survivor in the water. And check form.
My name is David Munns. I'm attached to at Air Station Sitka. I'm an aviation survival technician 3rd class. Currently, I am working on my qualification to become a rescue swimmer.
You're flying the swimmer?
I've wanted to be a rescue swimmer in the Coast Guard ever since I was about 15. Just the sheer fact of knowing that I could have a job that potentially could save someone's life is just awesome.
Taking a load. And snoring survivor clear of the water. Coming up. Voice complete.
I joined the Coast Guard at 18, knowing I wanted to be a rescue swimmer. And here I am 4 years later, just a couple moments away from being fully qualified. And it's a wonderful feeling.
Attention on deck! All right, everybody have a seat, please. Morning, heroes. All right, got a lot of stuff to do this morning before we start our training.
Today, we have some folks that get in the rescue swimmer wings, and as the CEO, some of the most rewarding days that I have where I can actually recognize the great work that our folks are doing.
ASC3 Munns, if you please step forward. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, United States Coast Guard Air Crew Certificate. This certifies that AST3 David C. Munns, having fulfilled established requirements, is hereby designated rescue swimmer air crewman.
It was a really long road getting into the shoes I'm in right now. There were definitely some days where you just wondered, man, am I gonna be able to make it through another day? But you just gotta stay motivated and keep your dreams in sight, and it'll all come together.
The thing I try to impress on them is to never stop learning. They should always be looking to make themselves better in their craft. All right, there we go. Congratulations.
All right, so you guys probably got the gist. It's a cardiac arrest up in Pelican. Could potentially be in rough shape. Their phones went down, so we don't have a lot of information.
I'm Lieutenant Mike Snyder from Air Station Sitka. We just received a call. The initial information is that we have a patient in some form of cardiac arrest in a town called Pelican. Pelican is extremely remote. It's a very small town. There's no runway. There's no roads in and out of the town. And these towns depend on the Coast Guard to provide services when somebody's injured or sick.
If we get on scene, if the patient doesn't respond, first, oxygen, 10 liters a minute.
So I feel comfortable doing CPR by myself. I'll just bang out CPR.
Roger that.
Sounds good, let's kill it. For me, this was my first medevac as a rescue swimmer. Get your heart racing a little bit. You're starting to wonder, what am I really gonna see when I get there?
Ready for takeoff. Ready for takeoff. We'll continue to climb straight ahead here to 300, and then I'll make a right-hand turn. It looks like visibility's pretty good.
Lieutenant Simon Green, Air Station Sitka. October is usually the worst month for weather, at least in terms of rainfall. And today's no different. There's little squalls between here and where we need to go. So we're going to take the outside waters. It looks relatively clear. We can go up and over some of the islands between here and there, just dodging small cells of rain.
The new info, it looks like he had a seizure is the new information. So at this point, we'll rule out chest pain initially. I think that's, we'll hook him up to a cardiac monitor and make sure that, there was no heart attack.
Health Services Technician, First Class, Ben Allen. The challenge with this remote lifestyle here in Southeast Alaska is there's always a little bit of misinformation in everything that we get. And apparently there was a communication loss between Pelican and District. Now we're getting more information that this patient has actually had a seizure and that they're not expecting that it is cardiac related. But fortunately, we're always ready in this situation. We brought everything we need and we're ready to move on for the mission.
I got a question. Do we know, are they going to feed us with the patient, or do we need to look for here a good distance?
Once we round the corner into Lysianski straight from the inlet, we should be able to talk to 116.
It really all depends on if we can land, too.
Yeah, we might not even be able to land where they want us to.
All right, we can see Pelican.
Preparing for approach.
Ryan Tyser, Aviation Maintenance Second Class. On arrival to the scene, they do not have an airport. They do not have a defined helicopter landing pad. So you basically get on scene, you have to look for somewhere to land.
And you have door command.
Roger, stand by cabin door.
Pelican, VPSO, Coast Guard Helicopter 6030, channel 16.
Helicopter 6030, this is VPSO Pelican. So I've got a landing zone set up next to the fire department, green strobes flashing, large enough for an 860 with no wires or obstacles.
If you just want to stand by, we'll take a look at the LZ, look at those strobe lights, and let you know what we're going to do.
We talked to the safety officer on the ground, and he had laid out a landing zone for us with the strobe lights. There was a lot of loose construction material in the area, so there was certainly some danger that we had to consider.
There's a big plastic canister blowing around down there.
Got a lot of debris flying.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little darker and cloudier.
You guys are jumping in the truck with him and going to get the guy.
The chance that a seizure could happen again is very likely. This is scary, this is bad. We need to get them to a higher level of care quickly.
Helicopter 6030, this is VPSO Pelican. I've got a landing zone set up next to the fire department, green strobes flashing.
With this call of medevac, this patient has actually had a seizure. We're just bringing everything. We're planning on worst case scenario.
Does it look like a lot of real loose gravel?
Nope, I would say it's all wet, first of all, and it looks more mud.
Okay, cool. And sector 6030, be advised we're touching down at Pelican.
Easy down, shells on deck, left main. Easy down, right main. Clear to take power out.
Roger, power slowly coming out.
Everything's looking stable on the right. We don't have anything blowing around.
Roger. You guys are jumping in the truck with him and going to get the guy.
It's starting to get a little darker and cloudier.
Yeah, it's probably one of those little cells that's rolling in from the southwest.
They're out of the rudder arc, sir.
Once we landed corpsman and the rescue swimmer, they're actually going to go with the safety officer to the clinic to make sure the patient's stable for transportation back to Sitka.
I'm Ben Allen. How are you doing, sir? All righty. I heard you had maybe some seizure issues.
Yeah.
Just, okay. Roger that. You in some pain right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take care of you. What's the last set of eyes you had on? We get up to the clinic, we get inside and talk with the health aide. We have a couple minutes to sit here and talk, and the information I'm getting is this guy is actually on some chronic seizure medications, and so we're gonna go ahead and give him a shot in the shoulder to hopefully prevent any other seizures before we get him in the helicopter. He's gonna take your blood pressure here.
From there, the HS1 hooked up the life pack and started taking vitals of his own, and I was setting up the litter, getting ready to transport the patient.
I don't think you had a heart attack looking at this, which is a good thing. We're going to give you some meds here, and that will help with pain, and it's going to help prevent any seizures in the future.
After we had full confidence that the patient was stable, we moved the patient to our own litter.
And on three. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. All right.
We were on deck for 20 to 25 minutes while the corpsman and the rescue swimmer went out, packaged up the individual, brought him back.
We have a smooth transfer of the patient into the cabin to where our time on deck is, at the minimum, so we can be airborne and get to the proper medical facility as quick as possible.
You guys all set up? You got everything hooked up? Good read?
Roger.
Crew ready for takeoff. Ready for takeoff.
to get him secure on the aircraft. It was relatively good visibility, but not 100%, so we just decided to go back out the way we had come, outside waters.
Cabin doors coming closed. Cabin doors closed. Roger. Second unit from Rescue 630, be advised we're airborne at a Pelican at this time with 06 POV en route to Air Station Sitka. Be advised patient is not under cardiac arrest. Patient was having seizure disorders. Over.
At this point, it's keep the patient on oxygen, monitor vital signs. The chance that a seizure could happen again is very likely. This is scary, this is bad. We need to get him to a higher level of care quickly.
He's having some pain related to the blood pressure. Every time the cuff pops up, he gets pretty agitated. Okay. I'm going to tell Sector we're on a final approach. Unit from Rescue 6030, be advised we are on final approach to home plate Air Station Sitka. Requesting secure our guard at this time, over. Looking good.
30, we're on deck with the patient, waiting on the ambulance.
We're on deck here in Sitka. Seems very stable. Sitka Fire Department ambulance came out, and they're expecting a cardiac patient, which, at this time, I think it's important that I ride along with them and give them a brief of actually the patient's history and what meds they're taking, and then also the things that we've done for the patient as well.
For me, this was a very special case because it was my first medevac.
And they're exiting the rotor arc, sir.
When the siren alarm first went off, you're starting to wonder, do I have enough medical training to be able to do this? Once you get on scene, everything just kind of kicks into place. All your training just kind of lines up for you. It is a really good feeling being part of a team to help save a life. That's what it's all about.
My name is Richard Keystrom. I was walking around trying to get a cup of coffee in the morning, and then all of a sudden my left hand side started twitching really bad, and I couldn't speak. The weather was really bad, and you couldn't get a hold of anybody because the long distance was out. The only people you could contact by VHF radio was the United States Coast Guard. To the air crew of that helicopter, thank the Lord and thank you for being there with him, because somebody was with him coming to get me. Otherwise, I would have had nowhere to go.
Thanks so much for watching with us. Subscribe to the Roker Entertainment YouTube channel for more stories of courage, community, and good.